Yeah.
Want to plug it into the wall?
No. I didn't bring.
You bring your phone?
Well, we've got all kinds of cords here. like
No,
two
I bought
cords.
batteries, so I wouldn't have to worry about the cords.
Oh dear. Well, Mike, you work out here, do you?
You work at Raycam.
Where?
Raycam in Redwood City.
Oh, nice. Got the day off?
Yep.
How about that?
Oh,
Can I do that for you?
would you like to? I'm about as coordinated as I have a camera. Okay. See, let's see this.
The last time I saw you, you were just a little girl. You were up here with Ethel.
I don't, I remember Laura, but I don't remember.
No, you stayed with Laura.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Well, this came, she came two or three different summers with your grandma.
I found my Michael in the set.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just the one time. No, I remember several times.
Well, you remember Dana and Leslie next door.
No, I don't. I was only about 5.
Were you about 5?
Yeah, I was only
I
about
thought
5.
5 or 6.
You
I
stay
couldn't
down.
really
Now you
I'm
stay on the
amazed at
floor.
my memory as it is.
Come sit down, Sis.
What do you need there?
This is, when I found a box, this is what I found. These are some
My
things.
goodness.
1936.
Yeah, but I don't know who it is. I'm not sure. Some of these have names on the back. Like this one doesn't. Like, see, it's very damaged.
Are those alike? Pretty much alike, these two?
Yeah, they look, they're two different,
Well,
two
could
different
I,
years.
could I
boy.
just see it closer?
Uh-huh.
I don't know any of these people. 36. Is your great grandma supposed to? She's not here.
See, I don't
This is
know.
all
There's
children,
some
all
It says
younger
Walter
people.
and Norma, or is it Norman?
Virginia. That might be who it is. Yeah. There's
Too
a-
bad they got wet one time or another.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's very bad.
Well, in 1936, this must have been when she lived in San Francisco, huh? It was a school picture, undoubtedly, 1937.
The little boy that died,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Is he in that picture?
I can't find him.
See, now, Philip, I've got a lot of pictures. Well, there's not a lot. There's like 3 that on the back it says Philip.
These are all children.
No Jimmy up
These
here.
are all young people.
But I'm talking about there's a Philip on this in here. And is there somebody in the family named Philip? Because there's other pictures in here on the back. It says Philip at age 2 and I've never even heard that name.
Except our great-great-grandfather.
Oh.
That's the only Philip I know in the family.
So this is the same thing, just another year.
That's the one I was thinking of. They're all children. Is this the same one I
But
know?
so 1936.
Yeah.
Looks like
That's
the
pretty
next
recent.
year.
I have this.
Oh yeah,
So-
this is our mother. This was her. What birthday was it, sis? 87th, just before she died, or
Well, it was one of the birthdays up at the hall, and I think one of them was the 80th. I don't know. No date on this one
No.
anyplace. Huh?
Was that up at
Sportsman's Hall.
Portsmouth?
Who are the people around?
All your great uncles.
Can I get a
Great
pen
hands,
so
great
I can write this down?
the only closest I can put that. I know this was when we were in Santa Barbara, which was between 52 and 57. So I would
Let me
place
get
it
you a
about
pad,
1955.
Well, if I write it on the back, it's better.
Did you
So
have it?
She died in 1955.
The one I have might have a date on it, but I have that same picture.
Yeah, I do too.
who's that?
Well, she's an in-law. She's married to Archie, and he is one of the twins. Archie and Arthur are the two twins. This is brother Clyde, and this is Ray. This is Laura's husband.
Okay, what's her name?
Her name is May. E.
Archie and May.
And that's me next to her, and then it's Laura.
Okay, and what was her first name?
Cora.
That's what I thought.
Cora Elizabeth.
Okay, and I know who that is. Okay, and I.
See, it's reversed over here. This is an in-law. This is Grace Butler, married to Arthur.
Okay.
Grace.
And then this is Elsie, married to Clyde.
Okay. Elsie, E-L.
E-L-S-I-E.
Okay.
Why don't you put after that married to Clyde?
Well, so I've got it on tape, so when I go back, I'll write, so I don't have to do it now.
Oh, very well.
Okay, who's that?
That's Archie.
Okay.
What do you do down there where you work?
And that's
Well, I just
Myron.
work. Yeah, it's a company. I work in the mail room.
N-Y-R-I-N.
Just deliver mail to the company and to the post office.
Okay.
So
And the next one is
I'm taking
George
accounting in school,
Van
trying to, and as soon as I get enough schooling, I'm going to try to get a job in there.
How do you spell last name?
Vanvleck.
Okay.
And then it's our brother Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And the next is Arthur. And then Clyde. And then Ray.
Okay. This is another one. That must be somebody who's closer in my family that I should know who it is.
Maybe some Creeds in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the only children that we remember of Ethel's are Kenneth and Norma.
Oh, really?
Well, hadn't you met Walter? Had you met Walt?
Maybe along the line, and of course, was Jimmy used to visit us when we lived in Mill Valley.
Yes.
That's that lady right next to you. And her
That's
husband.
you?
Yes, I know that.
I know I have one of you as a baby. I know that.
That was her husband,
That's
Jim
Pearson.
Pearson.
James.
Laura and
James
Pearson.
Pearson. That's P-I-E-R. S-O-N. These must be cousins. I don't know any of those.
There's,
Oh, she had a lot of them, didn't she?
yeah, a lot of stuff is very badly damaged. Yeah.
Well, is this you?
Yeah, that's me.
I thought so. Now, was your mom in any of these?
Yeah, that's my mother.
That's your mom.
That's my sister.
And it's you? Oh, now, what year was this?
I was probably about 5.
Oh, that's when you used to be. That's a nice picture of Ethel.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's Ethel, I know. Must be one of her sons.
Which one? Let me see. No, that's a son-in-law. That's Bill. That's Norma.
That's Norma?
Uh-huh.
Oh. And what year? You don't remember the years of any of
Let me
these.
see. That, let's see, that would probably, I can remember how old I was. I would say I was probably maybe 6. Yeah, so that's about 1966 would be just about right around
Is this Ethel?
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
could you
You were born in
come in there and
'69.
be friends with her a little bit?
Oh, then you were 2 years older than Dana. Is that what?
So,
there. I don't know.
Dana was the little girl next door. You was coming.
I remember. Yeah, a little child. There's, see, somehow to get these copied, they won't come out of here without.
You'll be ruined.
Uh-huh.
Take
You
that
know,
off.
it's surprising though how nice they come out when they look terrible.
Yeah,
they can really do wonders.
rejuvenate them considerably.
Yes. Ethel. As I remember her more.
That's one of her sons, Walt. And that's me and my sister.
Oh yes, Walt is the one I knew better than any of the rest of them. And is he still in Redwood City?
No, he's living up in Crescent City.
Crescent City. And who is he?
That's me.
That's you.
That's a real old one.
She looks an awful lot like Mom. She doesn't in these pictures.
Oh. Don't you think she did?
I used to think she did, but these pictures she doesn't look like Mom.
From the pictures I've seen, I don't really think I do. That's Amy, and that's Bill, her husband.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know the girls. I knew Doris.
I don't know.
Smile.
That's
Catherine Smile.
Do you know who that
that's
is?
not a member of the family.
Oh.
That's just a friend somewhere along the way. Just gonna thieves.
Family picnic.
You know, I kept in touch with Frances pretty much while Ethel was in her last illness, you know. And how is she?
She passed away in April. Didn't you know that? Well, it was really long. And, you know, she had some type of cancer, throat or something. So, it's
I'm
not
sorry to hear that. I kept saying to her, and I'm going to call her someday. I must call her someday, and I didn't.
That's the way it goes, huh?
I should say so.
Doris, you got loads of stuff on it. These kids want to look at.
Yeah, well, I'll let you see what I've got and then get that over with.
That's my mother and Ethel, and Ethel looks older than my mother in that picture, doesn't she?
She really does.
Mm-hmm. I guess you didn't see these two.
Here's a more recent picture.
Oh. When she was in the hospital, was she?
You haven't seen those either.
You ought to clear the table off and lay all these out on up there.
We all did the same thing. Trying to go back, and no dates and no names.
Gosh, isn't it
Is
terrible?
that you?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. It looks like an older picture, though, doesn't it?
Did you say that Kenneth saw all of these and could place
I
them?
haven't gone up there yet because I just got these. That's why there hasn't been anything done with them. Just very recently.
Marge.
Mary.
Mary.
That's my sister then. Yeah. That should be me, but it doesn't say me. Looks like me too.
What's the matter with you down there?
He wants to be up.
You need to stay down.
That's my grandmother Norma's husband.
Come on.
That's my mother's writing.
Yeah, this I thought I'd bring this. This is one in the box too. It's a vacation thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's Doris. I don't know if you knew her.
Is that
Sis did.
Yeah.
Yes, she's been going for a while now. Yes.
You stay up there.
I never knew Amy very well.
right to it.
Yeah, Amy's,
I had one
Amy's
trouble.
living in
I remember
down
you
Southern
telling me
California.
getting on the highway going
Santa
down
Ana, she was
onto that
near
road.
Santa
But as it was
Ana.
up on the
I'm not
highway,
sure
you could
how
see
far
that
this is, a
Toyota
long
place,
time
and then
ago.
just come
Do you know
right
who that
down.
is?
Didn't have no trouble after that.
Gosh, no. So, like a tintype, isn't it? No. Maybe one of the Creeds. I'm sure it's none of the Butlers.
Oh. I don't know. That might go back quite a ways.
That's a really old one.
I didn't know any of them, you know, the Creed family when they were as small as that. Did you see that one?
Does Sis see this?
Do you know who that is?
No.
See how white her hair was.
You know, one of the girls stayed with them. Who did they stay with? Aunt Margaret? With Margaret and went to school? Was that Amy or Doris? When they
Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
Like,
it's
would you
one
like a
of the
beer or
two.
anything?
Yeah.
No, thanks. I don't.
I don't remember anything about that. I remember when Kenneth brought his boy up here.
Yeah, but one of the girls stayed with Eileen would remember who that was because she was quite friendly with her. It seems like it was Doris. But I think this is one of the girls when they were, you know,
Yeah, I think that's a good chance that
14 or something
might be
like
Doris.
this.
Nobody in our family knows who this is. Nobody.
Hmm.
Well, that's
It was
another one.
found in a frame.
Must be a school picture.
Yeah, but
See any butlers in there, Mom?
No, more than likely it's
well, the Creeds don't know who it is
Creeds or-
either.
someone that Ethel knew.
That's the bad thing. You can't distinguish friends from family.
I know I've got an album in there that we don't know who any of them are.
Do you know who that is?
Coco, no, don't interfere. Get down, you stay down.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
That's Grandma.
Stay down.
Butler, my mother.
Over there by the window. Go on.
That's my mother.
Okay, that's Cora then.
Don't know a soul in there. You stay on the floor. School graduation.
This is a school thing too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Uh-huh.
This looks like the old school up on the hill.
Up here.
Yeah. Let me get the
I'll get you
glass.
some glasses. I'll get you some more light.
Oh, I know who this is.
Who's that?
This is Grandma Hogan and her sister, Aunt Ruth.
Do you have that one?
I have one
together?
very similar to it.
Oh.
Okay, what was Grandma Hogan's first name?
Clara. Her sister was Ruth.
Ruth Hogan then. Was Hogan a married
Or
name?
Allen.
Ruth Allen?
Yeah.
They were
Cora
Allens.
Allen Hogan.
A-L-L-E-N?
Double-L-E-N. And Ruth was Van Voorhees when she married.
Do you know how to spell that?
Yeah, it's a capital V-A-N, capital V-O-O-R-H-I-E-S. V-O-O-R-H-I-E-S.
H-I-E-S. Okay.
This looks like my mother. You know, she always looks so sober, and she, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but look that way. That looks the same eyes.
Yes. And she always was so sober. Every picture we have of her, she is
Even
never
when she was 2 years old.
Look at that. See what that looks just like.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
Oh, it says on the front who it is.
It doesn't really look like her.
There, oh, and the back too.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Oh, you wrote that right now.
No,
But no date.
that's not Mom.
You don't think that's mine?
Mm-mm. It doesn't look like her, and this child has blue eyes, and Mom's were dark, dark brown.
How can you tell?
How
she
can you
has
tell?
blue
They're
eyes?
blue eyes.
Because
Yeah.
they show light.
Oh my goodness sake!
I'd never.
Can't you see?
Heavens, no! I would no more know that day she had blue eyes, and maybe that's Uncle Harvey then.
Well, I was thinking maybe some of the Pearsons were in here, but I don't see a soul I know. No, not a soul.
Do you know who this is?
You know, I don't have much luck with these glasses. Maybe it's
Apparently,
my glasses.
my
and this
grandmother
glass
went
that
through
don't-
these
try to
right,
get
you know,
focus.
right before she left,
Shy.
where she lived on Roosevelt with one of my uncles, and they wrote on the back of them as many people as they could remember. So a lot of them she couldn't remember.
Where's your family, Mike?
Well, it's surprising how many pictures you do pick up of just acquaintances. or
I look
friends
through
or-
mine, you know, and think someday somebody's going to wonder, are these friends or are they family?
No, I don't know who these people are. And if it were Jess, I wouldn't know because I don't really remember Jess.
Kenny might know.
I was just a little thing when they were married. My goodness.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That's an interesting picture.
Yes, it is. Somebody's shirt or jacket and an embroidered pillow. Look at the crochet or whatever
Isn't
on
that
it.
pretty?
No, don't recognize that child at all. Sad. I
You know, that little girl right there is the only one looks like she might be a Creed. That last one on the line. You get it.
Well, she's got curly hair, like most of the
Yeah.
Creeds had.
So you remember this picture, sis?
Otherwise, I wouldn't
Yes.
be able to
Do you know
guess.
who's that?
Yeah, the female is me. And that's just a friend, a sort of a boyfriend. I was taken to Lake Tahoe.
Now this is Jack, Mike, Kenny, Walt, Kenny and Walt,
These are
and
just
Grandma and Larry. Now who's
Fleet coming
Larry?
in, huh? Not
Who's Larry?
Larry. I don't know who Larry is.
Couldn't know. Well, this was taken at Margie's wedding. third and second daughter got married when we lived in Kentfield.
And who were these?
This is Mother,
That's what I thought.
this is Sis, and this is me.
Ina, did you see that one?
Right better with those.
No, I've
Oh,
never
that's
seen. I've
good,
never
yeah,
seen that
thank
picture.
you.
That's real good, isn't it?
Yes, that's was taken.
Looks like it might have been taken right out of this old house here, huh?
Looks like the snowball bush.
Doesn't have a snowball bush.
You don't have a snowball bush?
No, yes, we do, but
We
not
do,
did
but
at that time.
There wasn't one on the place here.
Who's that?
There was a snowball bush right up. Now, this isn't very old, is it?
No. I think that's one of the more recent ones.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Do you know who looks so much like her is young Howard?
That's Cora.
You think so?
Oh, yes, I see resemblance there.
This
I
is
thought
your
Howard
great
looked a
grandmother
lot
when
like
she was
Jim.
a baby.
Who's that's my grandmother Creed.
Isn't that right, Sis? This is
I thought that was
Ethel.
Laura.
Isn't that Ethel?
I think it's Ethel.
Seamus, yeah.
I think it's Ethel.
Oh, because my Uncle Kenny's got this picture and he says it's Laura. I'll have to tell him because he thinks that's Laura.
No?
Do you have one like that?
No, I don't think so.
If you want copies of any of these, then you've got to get copies. We can do that if you want.
No, we ever going to find out, but I've seen it someplace. I thought it was Laura. I thought it was Ethel.
Well, that must be either Ethel or Laura.
It's one of them.
Yeah. Because my uncle thinks it's Laura. And he's got a pretty good memory of these things. I'm surprised.
Well, I didn't remember I ever had my picture taken.
At that age,
separate,
you'd hardly
you know.
remember.
I don't remember that.
Look at the dress and the things around there, and
It was taken in Placerville, and Seamus took a lot of the pictures.
Yeah.
See, here's Phil and Bob.
Bob.
You don't think that's you, huh?
I wasn't
Yes,
ever
it
that.
is.
Who's Phil? I mean, there's other pictures of him.
Either you or Ethel.
And they don't look like just pictures that, they look like
The
pictures
thing
that a
that-
family member
Now,
would
the
have.
three where we were
and
taken
Ethel.
together when Ethel was about 6, you know, that's the only baby picture of me
Unless
I
it's
thought
one
I
of-
had.
I don't think it looks too old to be one of her kids.
I don't know who it
No.
is.
Kids
See,
in
there's
that
no
name
way
isn't
that
familiar
you can
at all.
ask
Says
these
Aunt
questions,
Ethel.
though. This
But it
is
must
what's
be,
so bad.
didn't your
Aunt,
great grandfather have brothers and sisters? Didn't Jess have brothers and sisters?
Oh, my goodness.
I can remember hearing one named Rome.
Well,
Yeah, I've
sure.
heard that name. See,
There
I'm
were
not. Nobody knows about
two
that side of
boys
the
and 4
family.
girls in that family.
Oh,
Yeah, didn't you remember Goldie and Amy? They were the 2 older. Didn't you ever hear of Goldie?
I've
and
heard those names, but
Amy?
not.
They were the 2 older girls, you know. And then Gladys.
Uh-huh.
Gladys.
well, this says to Aunt Ethel, Phil 2.5 and Bob 6.5 months.
I don't know. You keep the glass hand.
You've got good eyes, huh?
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
my brother. That's our brother,
Baby.
This
Arthur.
little boy here is the one that's
Nothing
laying.
on it, huh?
Name.
Shows
That's
the
Arthur.
picture of the.
Where was it taken? Placerville.
Yeah, no, San a lot of these were taken in Placerville.
Phil and Bob, I don't even know the names.
It must be on the Creed side.
This is another one of Phil. Looks like a
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah, I would say
Mm-hmm.
much more than the Butlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, taken about the same time, 2.5 years.
See, there's the one that I told you about.
Oh,
That's a
where
real
have I
old
seen
one.
that? I have seen that picture.
Phil.
My God, that's my writing.
You don't know who Philip belongs to.
No idea whatsoever. I've never even heard the name.
Well, isn't that something? No wonder I remember, because I wrote that on the back.
Is that an old? Oh, that's the picture.
You remember that one?
Yes, that's the one.
I remember it when I saw it.
Aren't those babies darling?
They all
That
were.
is, don't you?
No, I don't know who any of these pictures are.
Oh, this is the one I read. That's the only picture I thought I ever had of me when I was
There she
small.
is, right there. This girl here, and
Uh-huh.
where's that baby picture there that we worried about who it was?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Was it a tin tab with it? Or what?
Here.
Here it is. there's an awfully large
It's
similarity.
a Butler resemblance, all right. See these two here? Very close, isn't it? And even here.
Well, that's Ethel, the one your finger's on.
I know it.
That looks like it may be Ethel then.
Isn't it though? I'd
how
mark
old do
that
you think
Ethel
those
right here,
babies
'cause
are?
I'm gonna mark this one here.
6 or
Ethel,
7
Laura,
months.
and Ray.
Well, I think perhaps they were at the same time the ones that I gave Arthur, and it was just the babies.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, they were tiny like this, huh?
Yeah, and I thought they were younger than 6 months or so.
Just have that copy,
Well,
Dinah.
it doesn't look as if they can sit up even.
Well, that's what I thought too.
Muriel Pearson.
How did the Pearsons come into the family? Where are they?
Well, we were going to call her Muriel, and then I didn't like it, and we changed it.
Who was that?
That's Merle.
Jim
Merle.
Pearson was the father to all her
To all-
7 children.
7.
Right on the back of that Merle.
And that's the first
Merle.
Merle
He's a
Luckman.
cutie.
How do you spell Merle?
M-E-R-L-E.
M-E-R-L-E. Lockman?
L-O-C-K-M-A-N. They live in the county here now.
Do you have one like this?
No. And I've thought about this one too, and I didn't know what ever happened to it.
Well,
Why don't we have some taken off? the
yes, I definitely want to. But what I was wondering, if I wrote on this, how did Ethel get it?
Well, I guess maybe you gave it to her.
Must have,
Or maybe Mom might have given it to her.
That's possible.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I definitely want
But there's no
copies of that.
date, but those babies were born in 94, huh? 5.
I'll have to go look in the Bible to make sure.
5.
Dorothy Jean Butler.
Yeah, that's Arthur Butler's daughter.
This is her father.
Isn't that funny?
Now, can you see a resemblance, sort of?
You really can, actually.
Thank you.
No, I don't know who that is. It looks like INA on the back, but that's not me.
No, that's a little
It's
boy.
Linda.
Oh,
No,
Linda,
no,
it's a
it
little
didn't.
girl?
No, I was thinking there was another one that was supposed to be Linda.
I couldn't read that what's on there, but that's a little boy.
I don't know who that
Yeah, I'd like to
is.
have this developed. They'll take all the scratches out of it.
Oh, yes, I'd like to have one of those.
The twins were born in 1895.
Ina, do you want me to give this to Phil? She can get them done so much cheaper than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Chris will let them out of her hands.
I don't know about that. I feel.
Well, we probably
how
have
you
some here
feel.
you want a copy too, Chris. before you-
I just took 23 down to the photographer here to have them done over, and I chewed my nails until I got them back, but
Yeah, you can't help but worry.
they all came back.
Well, this man,
Listen, I give them to my daughter-in-law, and she lives in Cortland, but
Yeah,
she
but
went
let's
through a
take 'em down.
drugstore, and through the drugstore, and through this fellow that does these reproducing, she gets a 10% discount. Besides, they're much cheaper than you can get them done up here.
I think I paid $325, was it, for that?
357.
I think that's
$57
ridiculous.
for the last bunch.
It really is ridiculous.
Yeah, it costs a lot.
But Phil said, just put everything that you want done and bring them down, which is
Yes,
what we would
that's
do. We'd
it.
take them right down to her.
And while we're talking about Phil, how about you two
Oh,
coming to the
definitely.
family reunion that
Yeah.
we have every year
Oh,
in
definitely.
Portland?
I was
Where's
thinking about that
Cortland?
too.
It's down the river from Sacramento, about 20 miles down the river.
My
Just
mother
out of
would
Sacramento,
love
like
to go
you
to that,
get on 5
too.
like you're going to Stockton.
My mother
or
wanted
something.
to come with us today, but she has to work. She's really interested in the family
Oh,
too.
wouldn't that be nice, and could you bring her?
Yeah,
I,
when
you
is
know,
the date?
I may be speaking out of turn, I'm not Phil or Jim, but I
Oh,
know
oh,
they
no,
would
they'd be
love
delighted.
to have any
Yeah.
of the family.
They'd be
When
delighted.
is it? What date is
Well,
it?
we have it about the last of June. Last year it was the 26th. I don't know
22nd.
This year.
Right when Michael's family's coming out from
Oh
Utah.
dear, oh dear.
It's the 22nd.
Yeah, it's Michael's birthday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, we don't go by Jim's birthday. We just
Can I
come
see
on
this
the
little one?
Sunday,
Yeah, that's what I was going to show
on
you.
the
that.
Sunday
See if you-
before or whatever.
Oh, I'll bet this is some of my brothers and sisters when they were up there on the ditch. Sis will know. That's gotta
How
be a
could you
creed,
ever
isn't
tell
it?
who they were?
It sure does look like one.
Look at the curly hair.
The only one in the Creed family, they're
Well,
old
look how
enough now,
pale.
is Kenny to
Faded.
remember stuff, and he doesn't even remember an awful lot.
Clyde
Not
was
ashamed.
born when we were
Yes,
at
it
Camp
really
7,
is.
so
Well,
that
there's
Somebody
that
had
would be
talked
Ray.
to my
Would be
grandmother.
Three boys and a little
before
girl.
she,
Three
she
boys
died
and a
so
little
much,
girl, huh?
could have been found
Focus
out.
right, so you have to
Yeah, that's, my kids keep telling
Doesn't
me,
make any
Mom,
difference
get out
which
all your
side
pictures
this
and
is."
write on them.
A little girl with a
That's you.
sunbonnet
Oh,
on.
can I see that?
You or Ethel?
That looks like a graduation picture or something.
Well, I guess so. I don't. I know it's definitely.
This is a
up
different
along the
pose.
edge.
I have two.
And that could be Ray.
This is different than the ones we.
And that's all I know about it. But those little children are possibly Butlers, but I can't tell. That was too long ago. I was only about 6 years old or something.
Can I see that with the glass? Maybe I can see. That's probably one that Uncle Samson brought back from Alaska.
I suppose so.
Looks like Alaska.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because these are,
Pictures of Alaska. Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Several. Oh, my goodness.
yeah, it says Alaska.
Mm.
Yeah.
He was up there for 14 years, and then he came home.
Who was
That's-
this?
Now, this is Uncle Samson, and that would be my uncle.
How would he be? He would be
My
your father's brother.
Uh-huh.
See, the story, I don't think you, maybe you have heard it.
I haven't heard very much.
Oh, well, then you better have mine to tell you. I think that one of the biggest stakes in over in Salt Lake is part of the Butler. And, we went back, remember we went back there, sis, and they had,
In 60, was it? Did we go in 60?
I think it was,
I think so.
and they put on a play depicting, what was it, 5 boys and a daughter left. And Butler left his wife and the boys and the girl there.
Those faces have
And
faded
who
too
were
much.
those boys that were left there?
Well, it was
I couldn't tell.
Samson. We have their name
No.
somewhere. I don't get it.
It wasn't Samson, it was Lehi.
Well, that's a more of a name.
Were
but
Shirai and Alva and Alma.
And, yeah, they're all Butlers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all Samuel Butler's sons. And Samuel Butler was my
Great.
grandfather.
Just your grandfather. See, I've never heard that name before.
I want to see this.
Well, okay, you can tell me the ones.
Did you
that-
see the pictures of
Yeah.
Alaska? This is Norma.
Yeah, that must be who that
That's
is.
Norma.
Uh-huh.
Yes, because I have that.
Do you?
I remember seeing these pictures before too.
Do you? I don't remember.
Yep, I remember.
Let's get this one resurrected. This is the only picture of the father.
Yeah, it is, and it's a
the
better
only
picture.
I'd like to have a copy
it's
of
a
that.
better picture.
Another
We do
better
it.
copy.
We make you one. But what we do is resurrect this, and then take all the marks out of it, scratches out of it.
See, I haven't found any. I don't know of any place in my area that will do really nice work. So
Well, I
that's
have it
probably better.
here.
Good.
If you don't mind. 'cause
No,
we'll
I just
have a
kind
lot
of worry, but
We'll
that's
have a lot of
okay.
pictures you'll want copies of
Yeah,
too.
very true. Okay, so you want this one?
Yeah, I know I want that for her father. It is the only picture of the father in existence.
Well, we had one done, but it isn't really a
No,
very
not
good
really.
one of him, you know. And it was taken from just a small snapshot.
I'd like to have some made of this too,
Okay.
because the girls mentioned them at Christmas time.
Put that one in.
Are those the only two, or do you want to look through these? And
in the
Don't you
baby
have
ball.
that one of you, Anna?
That's the enlarged colored one.
Oh,
do you want to see? I don't know of any of these because
This one here, Phil had some of these made, didn't she?
yes, for most of the family.
She
One
had,
right over
Phil
there
had
on the-
some of these made and gave one to each
In
one.
black and white, and they came up so much clearer and prettier in black and white because this
See if I
fades.
have it here, I'll show it
Yeah.
to you.
Would you like to have one?
yeah, I'd like a nicer copy of that.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure Phil has a negative of this, so I'll just ask her about it and have
Yeah.
some more made.
I know we did the same thing with our town. Went through and got several copies of a lot of pictures, but they were distributed so fast, and I was so young I didn't get any.
Oh, Ethel was 6, 4, and 2.
6, 4, and 2.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it looks so nice.
Isn't that pretty in black and
That is
white?
beautiful.
We can get you these from Phil.
I'm sure she keeps all the negatives.
That's really nice. Gosh, look at the comparison. It's just a
Comes out
beautiful
different. See how it
picture.
cleans up?
Well,
That's why I say
these
that.
fade, you know.
They
just
do a
fade.
very good job. They really do.
Well, that's the kind of work they do. We'd take them down to Corbin.
She was
Bill
2
said-
years old in that picture. She looks a lot younger than 2.
Who, your mother? That's your mother. This
This is Grandma.
this is your
6,
great
4,
grandmother.
and 2.
This is your
Yeah.
great grandmother. This is Laura, and that's
Uncle Ray.
Uncle Ray. He's 90. What?
You'll be 90.
He'll be 90.
You'll be 90 in July.
Would you like a copy of that?
Now, do you have a copy of that? That's so throughout our family. I just assumed that you would because everybody's got one of those in our family. That's a nice picture.
Let's have a copy of that made up by 10.
Yeah, that's what most of our family has is an 8x10.
Do you know about when it was taken?
No, I could find out though about that.
But we can get you this from Phil. And that one of Nelson Christian with the 2 twins, they'll take all the scratches out of that too.
They really do a nice job then. That's really good. Do you want a copy of this?
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Oh, Grandma Hogan and Aunt Ruth.
I have one like that.
Do you want one of these?
No, I don't think so.
Who's that?
Would you like to have one or
Who's
I
that?
have one like
Um,
that.
not? You have this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you
Also-
have that
Oh,
one.
that's all right.
I'd like to have one of this just in a bust. Wouldn't you?
Start putting them all together that you
I
want.
think
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
One of
to.
the nicest pictures
What
of
about this
hers.
picture
Yeah,
here?
would
Sis?
you-
Would you like a copy of that?
I think we might have one in the album. You don't have one in the album, I think?
I'll have to get out the albums and
Oh.
see. There could be.
What about
No, I have those.
that one?
Yeah, I have that.
Now that might be Walton.
Those are Walt's
Yeah.
2 kids.
And I want you to tell her the story as well as you can so she can get it on her tape recorder.
Yeah.
Of the time that her grandfather left Salt Lake City and came.
I have that all typed up. I could give her a copy.
Oh, I'd love a copy.
I didn't know she was maybe going to be Muriel.
Jim wanted to name her Muriel, and I didn't like
This
it.
is the one that used to make. Who the devil is it?
And that's Jim's writing.
Oh,
Yeah.
old picture.
He's had several out with that on, and then later we changed her name.
That's a Butler, sure as hell. Looks just like Catherine when she was that age.
But too bad we can't tell from that here.
I just thinking, I said, it is your mother. Of course, I says the eyes are blue, but you
Yeah.
can't
They
tell.
are. I can show you a picture of my mother at age 2, and it looks absolutely
Take a
nothing
quick
like
look
it.
at that and remember Catherine. Just like that.
Oh, it does not. Not at all. I'll put these aside someplace. Oh, shoebox.
Yeah, there's some more. Maybe there is.
Mike, you see, you're nothing but the chauffeur. That's all you are.
Are you interested in this too? Your family tree and finding,
My mom's doing that right now.
oh, is she? You know, so many people are now.
You watch that.
Gosh, you got more?
Yeah.
Mike, do you derive from Mormons?
You know, I'm not really, I guess so, really. I don't really know for sure.
You haven't gone back into your ancestry, huh?
My mom has, but I don't know anything about it. She's gone, I'm not sure how far back, but she goes to the library all the time.
This is Jimmy's autographed book from school. This I thought was really 1897.
Oh.
Christmas.
I think this is Grandma Hogan's writing, and isn't that beautiful?
What's from Aunt Ruth?
Aunt Ruth. Well, they both are about the same.
The
But,
writing's so pretty.
oh, lovely. Grandma Hogan was a school teacher.
Was she really?
Mm-hmm.
My mother asked me to ask you about a town called Hogansville. Does that have anything to do with the family?
In El Dorado County?
I don't.
Or where?
I don't know. She just said that there was a
Oh.
town that she had heard of called Hogansville.
I never heard
Huh?
of it.
There's another one, Butlerville, in Utah.
Well, that's in, yes, that's right, part of Salt Lake City.
And do you know if that has anything to do with the family?
Sure, that's those 6 brothers
That's
that were
their.
left there started that.
I wonder if it's still called Butlerville. My mother-in-law said yes, there's a town there called
Sure
that.
Yeah, or the Butler Steak, one or the other.
It's a big stake of the Mormon Church.
There's an awful lot of Butlers back there.
Yeah.
This is really something to treasure.
Isn't that unreal? I mean, over 100 years old.
Marvelous.
I was really upset when I found this stuff though,
Yeah.
because it is really damaged like this. This is a
Something. 1897.
But Jimmy is only about 15 when we had this.
I think it was 16 years old.
16.
Do you know who that is? That,
No. I
I lived
don't.
in Bavaria in 1851.
Well, that's the same one that you looked at a few minutes ago, I think. Isn't this Dorothy?
Uh-huh.
Dorothy.
Or Donald. It's either, it could be Donald.
Arthur's child.
There's a date in here, 21, June 21.
That's the tribe. Got any names on it at all?
it just says Jesse Wolford.
UK.
J.W.
Okay.
Boy, is that a family portrait.
They weren't all there either.
Do you have 2 front doors?
No, we have a back door.
Oh.
Well, this is Mom. This is Laura. That's me. This is my brother Harvey. That's my first husband. This is Jim Pearson. That's my mother's brother, Harvey. This is Ray, and this is his wife, Margaret. This
How
is,
did you?
I remember this little girl when she was up here with Ethel, and she just.
no, I never remember Chris. Chris, this is Laura, and this is her daughter.
That's
And that's Mike, her husband. How are you?
Fine, fine. Let me just play this right here.
Okay, let's start that over.
Are you in a hurry, honey?
No.
Okay, who are these 2?
Let me just play it right.
Harvey, Roy, James, Jim.
Yes, but they're not all brothers. But they're not all brothers.
No, they're not all Butlers.
Harvey, Roy. Okay.
This is Harvey, who is uncle.
Okay, his
Ray, Archie, Clyde.
Harvey, Ray, Archie, Clyde.
Anybody with you, honey?
No,
Can I get you anything?
no, nothing for me.
Glass of wine?
Oh, are you kidding? No wine.
Okay.
Well, with children. You want the little children in there
Yeah.
too? I'm not sure which child that one is.
That's Merwin.
That's Merwin?
Put her back.
M-E-R-W-Y-N.
Oh, I'm never going to be able to put this in order on here. Why
Probably
don't you
not.
just give me
They're
down here
butlers,
and
they're
then
all
each
the
other?
family.
The adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the bottom one?
This is me. That's Laura. That's our mother, Cora.
I came home for
Leave it to my memory.
Memories
when I
fail.
go back to, well, when I go back to really write it out.
This is Margaret. That's Minerva.
Margaret Minerva.
Uh-huh. They are in-laws. They're not butlers.
Okay. Yeah, I know that Margaret is. How do you spell Minerva?
M-I-N-E-R-V-A.
But each person's name has to be verified.
And
Residence
that's
and the
Juanita.
property of the
Nita.
And its location.
She
I got a
hates
big team
Juanita.
that I have.
Yeah, she's never used it, I know.
But I came up home.
There's another one of Phil.
Phil, I don't
Another
know
one.
who Phil is.
That's really interesting.
He's got the curly hair, like the Creeds.
No, they have it all on microphone.
That's
And you can use the
my mother's
microphone
sister.
and those fish machines.
Pretty, and her children, her husband and children. Huh?
How's Jean?
Oh. This is my brother.
Oh, no, there's
My
a
me and
last
my sister
name
and my
there.
brother.
Can you make it out?
Is there a last name on that?
Phil,
If
Phil
not,
something.
like to stay in trouble before he had his operation, so he might get down and.
It's like P-I-D-R-C or something. That's what it kind of looks like. I can't.
Oh, the
tell.
goddamn nerves swelled over.
That's part of your family.
Yeah, that's me and my sister and brother.
That looks like an eye, because he's adopted.
But I
I don't know,
don't
adopted an eye.
The
Or...
ID,
He's been on his feet too much, though. He
No.
goes all day long, I know.
I read more. No, that's
Well, sis does.
Along with his headaches, you know.
Do you know who
Did
this
you get your
is?
still going yet?
No, he's still working, the weather ran him out, really. And then his partner went to Los Angeles for a couple of weeks.
No,
Is he gonna use solar heat on that, isn't he?
don't know.
No, butane, I think he said.
That's
And then
Uncle Harvey,
also,
isn't it?
when he gets
Yeah.
his
Yes, that's
alcohol,
Uncle
but he
Harvey
uses
Hogan.
a mixture to run it.
And he was my uncle.
He was your father's brother,
Sister's brother.
sister's brother. This is
Our
really-
mother's brother, let me
My
get it
mother's
straight.
brother, yes.
This one. Let me show
Oh,
you
I'm
this
there.
first. You might.
That's me.
Yeah, that's her.
Where's she?
I can
Is
remember
that
that
you
one.
in the long dress? Which
An
one?
aunt,
Yeah.
She's the little one.
and Grandma Hogan, and Grandpa Allen. Is that Grandpa Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Alan. What's the first name?
Harvey.
Let me see that picture.
He's our great grandfather.
They get you up early this morning.
Okay, and that's Laura.
No, the little child is Laura.
Laura.
It's a good picture of the old house on it.
Well, that's the same one I have.
Have you seen it? They fixed it all.
Who's that?
And that is.
I was in it after they made it all
That is
remodeled.
his
and made a
daughter,
new
and that
kitchen
is our
everything,
Grandma
so
Hogan.
it's like it.
What's her first name?
Clara.
Sim. What's his name? Sim. Demi. Lived over
They
there.
fixed it up so
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, they did.
That picture just really fascinates me.
Does it
I
really?
thought-
It really
That
does.
house is still there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Just
Um,
the dress is just so old.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the one at Queen
Sis,
Hall?
I think my picture says that's Aunt Alice, is that
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
So who's Aunt Alice?
Our mother's
My
sister.
aunt would be my Grandma Hogan's daughter. See,
Our mother's sister.
Oh,
my
okay.
mother's sister.
Alice.
Do you want to join?
You're welcome to come and sit over here.
That house, was it at Coon Hollow then?
Yeah, Sim and Mary Deming lived in it.
Well, when the Neelys left from across the street here, they moved to Coon Hollow. That wasn't the same house they were living in for a while, was it?
I don't know. I don't think I ever knew where they lived over
Oh.
there.
I don't remember where the Neelys, it was right across from the Baccassinis, wasn't it? Sort of.
Along in that area.
Do you know, in going through the search of records this morning, that Leon Baccassini doesn't have one stick of land in this county?
He sold everything.
They've put it in somebody else's name.
Yeah, that's my Aunt Lois. I didn't think you'd be all that interested in that.
I don't recognize that.
Jones.
Do you know who that is?
Two Uncle Jeff and Angel.
Should have put on that Coon Hollow.
Yeah.
Jones. Jones.
I've never
One
heard
of the
that.
daughters, one of the girls married to Jones. It was Doris.
Doris.
And had one child. So
Whoa.
that's who it is.
No, their
Huh?
only child is David.
His name, and what's his baby's name?
No, their only child, Doris, and Doris only had one son, and its name was David.
Mm.
And I don't think the last name was Jones. Hall. Hall is the
Hall?
name.
Hall? Oh?
Is that name with
Well, that is
LA?
it. Then that's Doris's.
Oh, isn't that?
No, because Doris's son is named
Oh,
David
Jones,
Hall.
Jones.
Yeah.
Jones. That's one of them named Jones.
Do you know who that is?
That's me a long time
That's
ago.
you again. All the pictures are so solemn.
I was about, I guess, 19.
And that's your mother, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Take a nose down, I guess.
We all have that.
You're ready to
Yes,
get
it
like
is.
last time, huh?
I think that was around her 80th birthday.
It says
night.
86, age 86.
I imagine
Christmas.
everyone in the family will want one.
Oh.
I don't know
Well,
if
last
they have
night, I don't think I had that written on mine. I better check look and see.
Did I miss something? Oh, Mom.
Lovingly Little Jim,
Laura.
1925. That might be my Uncle Jim, but yeah. Yeah, that's on our side, the other side. That's a cute picture.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to write on this as the old Hogan homestead at Coon
They
Hollow?
called it Coon Hollow Ranch at that time.
At Coon Hollow. Coon.
Coon, uh-huh.
This was just in this found in there. Some of these senior pictures. A lot of these say compliments of Mrs. Duncan.
Oh, Mrs. Duncan.
She's an old family
well.
friend.
Those are people, yeah. Duncan. Oh, well, Duncan was the girl that she knew at, I told you she went to school at Hazel Valley, and she was friendly with this Flora Duncan. Did you know her later?
You mean Ethel went to school up there?
Our mother.
Oh, Mom.
And this is up on the ditch. See the flume around the hillside?
Yeah, both of these are too.
Were these Placerville or?
Well, east of town. See, Sis, when Sis was a little girl, wasn't it, Sis, that our father and mother were up there on the ditch?
Who now?
When you were a little girl, were Mom and Papa up there on the ditch?
Yes, Clyde was born at Old Camp
Clyde was
7.
born.
Mm-hmm.
1898, so that's
Yeah.
probably when they were up there. And that's probably some of the family, but you
Camp
can't.
7.
Yeah.
There was a news item one time here in the paper in the 100 Years, told about Mr. Butler walking along that flume there and met a bear. He and another man. And the bear knocked one of the men off, but he shot.
Sis
Butler
wanted to
shot
see,
with
I
a
don't think
pistol.
she has seen these.
Those days they had grizzly bear out here.
Well, I think this is Old Camp 7. And you know, this is the flume across the Plum Creek. And the house stood right here on a bunch of rocks. Right up above the creek. And this is the trestle over the creek, I guess. And this, I can remember playing on this big rock that's up on the hill back of the barn at Old Camp 7. Camp 7, what was that called at that time? The Eldorado Gravel and Deep Mining
Oh,
or something?
the ditch, yeah, Eldorado Water and Deep Gravel Mining Company.
Yeah, that was it.
They're the ones that put it through. Would you want any of these?
Oh, no, I don't think
Well, it was my
so.
fault because it was cold last
But you know something, these are very precious.
fire, the doors were open.
I want to display them somehow in the book so that they're kept nicely because I think they should be taken very good care of. I have a lot of letters and stuff. I don't know if I've read them. They're nothing really. But
No history or anything.
No
in it.
history.
No tragedy.
I have this, but I'm sure this is just a copy.
No tragedy.
These are just some copies that I have made.
Just wondering if I would want copies of these. Probably not, but don't ever let them out of your
Oh, I
hands.
won't. That's why I've got them. My mother doesn't even know I have these things because she wasn't taking care of them. As you can see.
Pacific Gas and Electric Company now owns this system, and they might someday be interested in seeing these pictures, to know just how that ditch was put through.
Now there's no date. But she died, I think, she died first part of November, didn't she?
Oh,
Grandma, Mom.
yeah, it's about the 11th or the 12th, somewhere along in there.
Well, it just tells about the services, but they don't have the date on there anyway.
Was that in 55?
Yes. November or 55, but
Want me to get your stuff out on it?
No, not yet.
Honey, I can go anytime.
When you're ready, Mom.
She has company over at her house, I know that. How long are they staying, honey?
Do you have a copy of this?
No, not that.
Okay. This is what I brought, and also these are. I
Oh,
don't.
you have others, huh?
Yeah, I brought a lot of. See, this is what my grandmother could remember. Not too well.
That part of the family tree?
Well,
or
it's what I sent it to my uncle to see what he could remember, and that's about all he could remember.
This is, Norma wrote these.
Yeah, that's all she could remember.
She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all there is. There's only 5 of us left.
Did you have the dishwasher? If I were you, I'd pick up the telephone, call the county health officer, and ask him just what precautions you should take.
Well, she has got some of the creeds, great-grandmother Wooten. And a Sarah. Grandma Sarah, that would be Jess's mother, I guess, huh?
I don't know. See, she doesn't know. And I don't remember anything.
Grandpa Walter Jess.
I haven't gone through any of the records or anything.
Jess Walter, Rome, Amy, Goldie, Gladys. Those are the ones that
She named,
Sis
yeah.
mentioned. Mhm.
Now, you could straighten her out on some of these
Yeah, because
dates.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, on these dates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have a book of remembrance, or
Well,
how do you have
the,
yours
Of
laid
course, we
out?
have
I have a genealogy sheet.
I'd like to see that.
I mean, of the Butlers.
Well, yeah, well,
I copied one yesterday for you.
oh, thank you.
I beg pardon, dear? The jury don't allow them to remember.
How long you been married, you two?
1 year last month.
1 year. Well, good
1
for
year.
you. Made it a year. Uh-huh. That's good.
So far, so good.
Well, I want to ask about Sonny. Do they still call him Sonny, don't they?
They sure do.
And how is he doing?
He's fine.
But didn't she leave two daughters? Frances leave?
No. Mm-mm.
Didn't she have
So
two
now
girls?
it's, they can look at now.
Yeah, but I think that was by another husband, and that she didn't.
Well, no, but I meant she did have two children when she was married to Sonny.
No, that was I think that was he was married to another Francis. He was married. Both of his wives were named Francis.
They were?
So that was probably the other one.
Oh, I see.
These are all copies of things I didn't know if you'd be how interested you'd be in
Particularly
some
now,
of
Gene
them.
is kind of low and everything, he might be very acceptable as this.
Yeah, right, it could be. Of course, he just flew in this morning, 5.5 Gen he was on it about after he built it.
But I'm sure, if you got any intelligence at all, you'll understand.
I have access to a copy machine at work.
Oh, you're lucky.
So, yeah, I am.
Laura, poor old bed of spikes is getting sharper all the time.
These are uncles and stuff. So I really don't know how interested you are in stuff like that, but I probably bring it anyway.
Well, it's interesting to look
Now,
at.
let's see,
I don't think I
he
have
and the mother.
put her up anymore.
But I
So much.
see.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
And she's just been out of the hospital, say, for 2 weeks, and it's really good, so she went back.
This is you.
Yeah, that's me.
So you are Christine. I wondered if it was just Chris.
She got up yesterday morning and fell and broke her ankle, and we had surgery yesterday morning at 10 o'clock to put a skin in. So she'll be there for.
And your mother was a coster, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You hope she knows, she's taking now, while you can.
She'll be home as soon as she helps us with that money.
Well, Nelson Butler was Christian then.
He loves to put on that table.
Do you know where in Utah?
All the county man.
That's one of the things I have to try and find out. My daughter lives in Sacramento, is going out to the LDS library down there.
Yeah, my mother-in-law's going there too, and she said she'd see what she could find for me.
Just like Harvard. TV is highly confusing.
I have a granddaughter named Lynn.
That's why so many old people get it.
You know what he wants? He wants to get over in his chair.
Is this his chair, I hope? Oh.
You know, you get into this, there's no end.
I know.
You found that out, huh?
I haven't gone and done any research because actually I was putting it off until I came up to Placerville.
And I get into the old letters and things, and we're just at it all day long. It's all so interesting.
Can't get out of it.
These are the marriage licenses that are hers are folded, and that's what's written on the outside.
Now, there's information here that I don't have on this.
Mike, you're very patient.
Oh, yeah.
Have to be, huh? He learned that in a year, did he?
Sure, if there's anything else. Okay.
Lana has a family tree, you're going to have to copy it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I made her a copy of it yesterday.
You let me have your address while I'm thinking about it, and I'll let you know about this family reunion.
Yeah, I'd really like to know about
Yeah,
that.
we'd sure like to have you there.
I'd love to
Mike, you
go.
enjoy it. You enjoy it very much.
Last
You're
year we got
19 years
Archie.
old.
Yeah.
All the
We
guys
got your
there, like, we take
Uncle
a
Archie's
worksheet down.
daughter and her husband for the first time
All you
last year.
can eat. You drink
And
beer,
she
you
was
know,
raised
beer,
in
you
Texas,
know,
you know.
watermelon, whatever.
Sounds like fun.
It is fun. I think there was about 54 there last year.
Was there?
You weren't there, were you?
Yeah.
Yes, you
And all families.
Did you
and
live in
all-
Utah at this
all-
time when you were married?
Uh-huh.
were.
We just came out here in June.
And it's like a outdoor
Didn't,
thing, and it's a fat.
Join the
potluck
church when you were
more or less.
back there, huh?
They eat
I
and
joined
drink
the
all
church
day.
in
and-
1977.
The Mormon church?
Mhm.
Are you active?
Yeah, very.
$60 million worth of bonds to him. And besides Citicorp, he works for Citicorp, which is the largest financing company
Huh.
in the United States. And he used to be secretary.
We have a lot of
He
history
also sits on the
We don't have any
Securities
relatives
Commission.
up here.
It's just nice to see these two.
Everything we do.
You know, but it's they're not hills. You know, some on my mom's side live in Grass
We needed
Valley.
advice.
Oh, you were more acquainted up around Grass Valley, are you?
Not many
It's
people.
nice up
My
there.
mom's west side of family.
Oh,
So he,
Around here.
I'm acquainted with this Rooster.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Ethel was
Uh-huh.
on for many years.
And it's not gonna be the grandchildren, your grandchildren, they'll be around someday, they'll great
Is Walt still in the same place where he's?
No,
oh,
he
you said
lives
the
in
Crescent.
Crescent City.
Oh, yes, uh-huh. And then there's another boy. Walter and Sonny.
Mhm. There's Kenny.
Okay. And he's still in the city.
No, he lives in Willits.
Oh. Is he married now?
His wife passed away about 2 years ago.
Oh. And that was the second,
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's his second wife.
yeah, that was the second wife. Well,
you know, that we because we took his sister with you, because Martha was you know that.
No, I didn't.
Now, this Walter M. Creed must have been Jess's brother
Uh-huh.
in 1905. Maggie Kelly.
I didn't do it once a week with mother, I never see her.
No, we don't get to see her at all, because you only have to move around.
We used to take her to have her hair done.
Now you got knocked out of there.
Got knocked out of that job.
I have these too. These are.
now look at that writing.
Isn't that pretty?
Oh, they don't write like that anymore.
That's called
Oh, that
stencil.
is beautiful.
Daddy used to write like that. Daddy did.
Come and look at this, though. Come and
Did
look.
Daddy write like that, nice?
Well, no,
Yeah, they're pretty handwritten.
still nicer.
Still nicer, huh?
Still nicer.
Oh,
Look how
yeah.
plain that is.
That is pretty.
Mhm.
Well, Chris, you got a lot of loot.
Oh,
Why
Yeah.
you see Ina's loot? and then
I
you
can
get yours.
imagine.
1905.
Well, how many brothers did Jane have?
He had one brother, and
Excuse
one
me.
brother was killed in, he swam the Rhine River
I
and got
got
hit.
copies of the marriage certificate.
And so then he
Maggie Kelly.
paraplegic from the waist
Maggie Kelly signed this
down.
sign.
for
I noticed that.
7 years before he died. He had a whole
Oh, they're not there.
The one brother living with his sister. Lost him.
Now, Norma had, but did she have 5 children?
I think it's 5. My mother, my mother, Lois, Dick, Jim, Bobby. Yeah, 5.
And are they all with you? Oh.
No, the only ones left are my mother, Jim, and Lois. So,
And your mother was born about 19...
1936.
Where is this ground that?
I mean, now,
Tom Smith
Norma
owns
was born about
from
19...
Oh, I don't have the dates on the
11,
sheet.
Norma, May 3rd,
Quite
1911.
a mile down the road from
1911.
Because I know that Kenny was born on 9th of February, 1909. I always remember that.
Yeah, same day as Harvey's.
Yeah.
Mrs. Taylor.
Yeah, and Nashville it says here.
And I think there's
Oh.
about 800 acres back in there. And it's
Well, I didn't
bang-
remember that,
Bang.
but I guess so.
Yeah, Kenny gave me all this
Well, I
information.
used to love that. Used to be part of.
I'd like to have a copy of this, but we can have this copied up here.
I have this, and I didn't notice this in here. Or my grandmother's two marriage certificates.
Whatever happened to that piece of ground?
So I don't know why I didn't bring copies of those.
That's,
How many years apart were those marriages?
Let's see, 1908, 1915. Do you know why they divorced? Do you know why they divorced?
Just remembers.
Well, they just get along very well, I guess, and the children were little, since she came home.
Where'd she go to?
She came home
To
to
Placerville?
the ranch with my mother.
It was just because they didn't get along, but then they remarried again. I guess they must have really loved each other.
I guess so.
Do you remember what kind of man he was?
Oh, yes. Sure, he was a nice person. Last time I saw him, they were living in Modesto. And he was kind of feeble. I think he had arthritis, kind of crippled up with arthritis. It wasn't too, awful long ago. Your mother's been gone, what? Just
My grandmother.
your grandmother, great-grandmother.
Great grandmother, yes.
Yeah.
Not very long.
Well, she died last year, or a year, 2
It
years.
was about maybe 3 years
She
ago.
was 89. And Ray's going to be 90, so she's been gone 3 yeyears.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of job he did, her husband?
Well, they mined for years up on the Klamath River. Did you know that? They lived up there for years, and your grandpa Creed taught school up there.
Yeah, I knew that.
Uh-huh. And then they had a mine, and both the boys were working in the mine, as far as I know.
Do you know how they met? My grandmother and
Well, you know that your grandpa Creed taught school when I went to school to your grandpa Creed.
really?
Oh, yes. He taught school at Old Cedar Grove, and,
Where's Old Cedar Grove at?
well, it's called Pollock Pines now.
What city?
Pollock Pines.
Oh, is that
Pollock
that's in California?
Yeah, right up the road about 14 miles.
Huh.
And he got it, and your great-grandfather, was he great-grandfather, wouldn't he? Taught school, and I knew all of the children, all the girls and both boys
So
at that time.
Ethel's husband taught school then. Okay. So how did she?
No,
Okay, that
your
was.
great-grandfather taught the school. He was the school teacher.
So it would be my great grandfather because Ethel's. Yeah, because Ethel's my great grandmother. So
Well.
it would be her husband's father that taught school, right?
That is going back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the school teacher.
Well, do you remember how Jesse and my grandmother met?
Well, they just met because we were all living in the same area. They were living over, and we lived on one ranch, and they lived on another ranch. And of course, everybody went to the same things, because if you visited in those days, why, you went and stayed all day long, because. So this is how they met, because they were.
Did they have
They're
a
all
very
living
long
the same-
courtship?
Oh, I think so. I think she knew him quite a while. Because I think he taught school up there a couple of 3 terms, if I remember right. Hard to remember way back then.
What was my grandmother like when she was a teenager? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't tell you what she
I
was
don't, I
like.
have never even seen any pictures of her at that age. Do you
Oh.
have some? Because I've never
Oh,
seen
you'll
any.
see some from that
I
Ina
know.
has. She was always, sort of bashful and retiring. She always was,
That's
wasn't
the way
she?
I remember her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, she always was. She was very.
reserved.
Is any of the family wealthy from way back when, or were they just
Farmers.
just farmers? All of them, just farmers?
Well, after my brothers took over the ranch, none of them were farmers. They just thought they were, and they'd take the ranch, and it wouldn't last. And my oldest brother Ray ended up a PG&E man, and Archie worked for the county, and then he worked for the state, and then he had property at Lake Tahoe, And that's where he was living when he passed away. And Clyde, what Clyde? Clyde worked for the state too for a long,
Yeah,
long
he
time.
worked for the county of El Dorado.
Yeah, and then he worked for the state. And Harvey was a surveyor. None of them were ranchers. And the old ranch where I was raised, and I can tell you, it doesn't look like the old ranch at all anymore.
imagine.
There's a picture of the barn here, Chris.
Yes, that's the old barn,
Oh, is that what that is? That's a pretty picture.
as I remember it too. Not quite as I remember it. It was a great big barn.
Was the family close or?
Well, I guess so. You know, when you're early days, you don't get around like you do nowadays. No.
No.
So we were all raised up there on the ranch.
Did you do many activities like with your parents and stuff? Did you?
We used to go to dances and picnics and
What about,
Church.
you mentioned it all about the Logtown days.
the what?
The time when you lived down in the Logtown area down there? In 49?
What I didn't know.
You remember Logtown, when we used to go down to Logtown?
Oh yeah, but then Logtown wasn't even there when we used to go down there. You know, there wasn't anything there but just the name.
There was nothing left.
No, there wasn't.
Well, Norm Celio took his bride to Logtown when they lived there.
Well, do you remember the old, it's supposed to be Jim Butler was born in Logtown, and he was the guy that went to Nevada and staked out about 18 or so silver mines.
Who was Jim Butler?
I don't know.
You
We're
just
just
know-
trying to find out who's Jim Butler.
They haven't been able to connect him to this Butler family.
No, I don't think so.
but
I'm sure it is.
we have a picture of his partner, Shorty,
Yeah.
with your father.
Well, was that old Shorty Davis that you're talking about? Harris, I
Shorty
think his
Harris
name
is the
was.
one that went with Jim Butler over there and discovered all that gold country over there.
Then how come he ever came back to the ranch and used to cut lagging and wood for a living?
He didn't stay over there. He just petered out over there.
I didn't remember that, any part of that when I was
You know,
growing.
Shorty Davis's wife lived in Georgetown for years and years, and she only died like a couple of years ago there. Yeah, she just been. Trace was her name?
I don't remember who she was.
Davis.
He married when he was,
Oh, it wasn't Davis, it was Harris.
Harris.
Oh, the long way.
Yeah, this Shorty Davis used to work for us,
Oh,
for Daddy.
What church did you go to?
Well, we didn't have any regular church. We had church in the schoolhouses around, and it would just be traveling ministers would just come up for the Sunday and so forth. And that's about all the church we ever had.
Were your parents strict?
Well, I don't think they were. Not terribly. I can't remember that they were strict.
Well, I was a spoiled brat baby, so I guess I never got
So
a whopping.
I think we were all kind of spoiled, if that's the
But I
case.
think that your grandfather was known as a stump preacher in this area.
Yeah, he was. That's Samuel.
Sam. He
A
was known
stump
as a
preacher?
Stump
Well, he was the Mormon that came out here, and I guess he did used to get on his soapbox in the city of Placerville, didn't he? I think there's something about him in that book, I believe, in that I Remember book.
But I've always wondered about this. He settled up there in the Pollock Pines area.
weeks, but I know Larkler has company over at her house, and you excuse me?
Well, you can come back, can't you, sis?
I'll take you all to lunch. How about that?
Heather, it's up to you what you want to do.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna give you. I got you.
Your mother, I never saw love. It was just,
Well, this says love.
yeah,
But you know, my
it was
mother
very,
was,
very cute.
she was not,
Stories are open till 9.
Affectionate person.
she didn't show any
I
affection.
can take you to the bank and get your phone fixed.
That I can recall, really.
Well, no, because I have to get back home because I was,
Who's your father affection?
Well, he died when I was only 4.
What did he die of?
well, now if you want to
Well, I'm never quite sure, but we think that Mom used to say lesions on the lung, which indicates consumption. But in some of these old letters I have, he had gone to Southern California and also to Arizona to doctors, and they couldn't find any indication. So his final death was caused by pneumonia.
I've heard that one before.
Final death. Get that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Redundant, isn't it? Now, what did you girls decide?
I told Mother I'd bring her back up, but she'd like to come after she goes to the bank and gets her groceries, but she said she would, well, she said that she'd call Myra and tell him, so I don't know.
But don't you want to come and have lunch?
No, I'm not gonna have lunch, because I just ate breakfast by 9 o'clock. And Jean, I have to get home really to say it's true.
Family.
Yeah.
Let Jane take care of himself for a little while.
It's starved to death. He doesn't even know how to make a sandwich. Yeah, they
Because
will.
eventually, I've noticed
They
on my
would, too.
mother's, that she's had them for so long, when you peel it
Well,
back,
there's
the
very
picture
few
comes
young guys
back
that
too.
just hung in there all these years,
I
that's
have a
for
lot of
sure.
mine like that, and I've
Well, the
been
Liddy
afraid
coats
that's
kind of hung
going to
together
happen.
too.
Yes, I think I'll wind up putting them in a book of remembrance, because they have nice
I
plastic
went
covers
over there and installed
that
all
go
of
with those, so I think that's what I'll wind up doing.
Yeah, I heard you was over there.
Oh, recipe books, wouldn't you know, this is the darndest family I ever knew, saving recipes. I've got 1,000 of them.
Oh, those are just recipes.
I've got Grandma Hogan's handwritten recipe book.
Oh, really?
No, I
very
have
nice
it.
meeting
I
Nice to
have the
meet you
recipe.
too.
So you're gonna leave us, huh?
That makes us what? What cousins are we?
I-
That makes us cousins?
First cousins. Yeah, because you would be my aunt, and
Wouldn't I be your great aunt?
great aunt.
Great aunt.
So
please.
great cousins.
Great cousins.
No, your first cousin so many times removed.
We're
Twice
kind of
removed.
really
Never figured out
You've
that.
heard us speak.
Yeah.
Well, if
Well,
it's
there
close
would be your
relatives like
first
this,
cousin.
it's first cousin.
Now, this
But
little
then if
girl
it goes
belongs
back
to
another...
Norma's.
gonna do? I know a lot of copies of the stuff she's got. Xerox copies and stuff, and I don't know. Oh, she forgot my address. Oh, my back hurts.
Would you kids like a drink of water?
Oh, no thank
Coke
you.
or
No
anything?
thank you.
How about a Coke?
No thank you.
Thanks.
Is this what you gave her?
Yeah, she forgot it. Aren't these beautiful? These marriage licenses. Look at that, isn't that?
They don't do that anymore.
I think they're so nice.
You ought to frame that, you really should.
Yeah.
Put it in a picture frame.
I should have asked Sis who Mrs. W. Creed
That
of
state's a
Fife
little
was.
long because we already had it.
That's right. I was going to ask about that too.
Hi.
Mrs. W.
Alice Haynes must have been just a friend.
I could find out who that was from one of my uncles.
I can remember the name. But it's no one I know, really. This is the second marriage. Where did these get in the rain this way?
My mother left them outside.
Oh. Thank goodness.
I know.
Well, I can understand why Ethel saved all these things.
I couldn't even read
Oh,
that.
that's from Margaret. Where does she start and where does she end? Yeah, from Ray and Margaret. My goodness. Fishing was bad. Got a couple of peas.
Well, they've had their, what, 67th, 8th wedding anniversary? Ray and Margaret, how many years?
That's over 65. I don't remember how long ago that was that they had their 65th. Jess Walter. This must be who Mrs. W.
Oh,
Creed
Mrs.
was.
That's what I was going to say.
Now, this was the teacher, I
Uh-huh.
guess.
What, Walter and Creed?
Wasn't Sis just saying that
Uh-huh.
Creed taught her? This must be the one.
See, there was a Walter Jesse Creed, and then there was a Jesse Walter Creed. So,
I imagine they are buried together.
I think they are. I think that's what my mom told me.
We couldn't go down at the time.
Because it says here where he's buried in.
Acacia.
I think my mother told me that they were.
This says Masonic Cemetery.
Yeah, Masonic Cemetery. Where's that?
I don't know that much about Modesto. But hers says Acacia Cemetery, unless it's renamed in the meantime.
See, I don't have any copies of those articles either, from when she died.
All I have is what I guess it was Frances sent to Sis, and she gave me some.
That's really nice of her to do that.
Well, sometimes you wonder just how much valuable these are. You hate to just throw them away.
I know.
that's all your things.
That's all of my things.
Well, let's see, where shall we start? With pictures or with papers?
Pictures.
Pictures?
Same place she used to. She's got piles of it.
Now, these are copies I just had made, but I have a lot more pictures. These, if you want any of those, I can let you have them for just what they cost me.
Well, get prepared.
Those are negatives. I
That's
think.
the last big bunch we had made up with it.
Who's that?
That is my great-grandfather, Philip Hogan's wife, Jemima. This is on my mother's side of the family.
These are so old. Who's that?
Now, that is Helena Butler. She was Samuel's wife. So she'd be your what? Great.
Great. How much are these?
Did I mark on the back?
$3.45. Oh gosh.
I think that when I had those done, they charged me $350 for the whole bunch. That's why we want to take them down to this.
That's Samuel and Helena.
How old are these? Do you? It's 18, 20.
Well, as near as we can make out, it was probably their wedding picture, and they were married in 1860. 1860. But we're not sure, you know. These are pictures that had no notations on them.
I don't remember where they went. Oh, she's pretty. Who's that?
That's me.
Oh.
I was about 16.
Isn't it nice to hear compliments when they don't know?
I was about 16 years old, and that's like similar to the one that you found in there.
Yeah.
Was taken the same time.
That's a very nice picture. Oh, I could spend $100. Do you think? Do you think if you put some aside, and I imagine if I could just send you the money, over a week, a couple weeks, and then you could just send it to me so I
Pick
could
out
put
what you
aside?
want, and then we'll
Because-
see about that.
Yeah,
huh?
because we didn't bring that much money with us.
Now there's another pose of that.
There is. They're so unique.
Look at the two haircuts.
Uh huh.
God, I wish I had hair like that now.
Look at her haircut.
All the butlers seem to be very dark haired.
We started that way.
Yeah. I noticed that everybody turned white. So white.
Well, I think most of us, when we were little, though, had blonde hair.
So I remember, Chris, now, most of the butlers are all over 70.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Well, everybody said, well, my imagination was that everybody was so old that I wouldn't be able to really be able to communicate, because that's what everybody was saying. Oh, they're so old, because all they could remember was that, that it was so long ago. Oh, these are just negatives.
Yeah.
You have a picture of that.
So I was gonna say, isn't that's the same picture? It's just so much clearer. This is
Well, you have one of that too, I think, haven't you?
these are really
This is a little bit larger.
done nicely. They really are. Really done so nicely.
The one in your hand is the house that Samuel Butler built.
At the ranch.
You
we
build.
were-
Where is this at? Is this still standing? Because I remember when I talked to Margaret, I thought she said that you lived up by where her mother had lived. It seemed like the
My mother used to live right here.
That's what I thought she had
Yeah,
said.
we tore the house down when we built this one. But it's about 14 miles east of here. Not really. They call it
You
Pine.
can get into the ranch right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
But no, the house is not there. It burned way back in 1926.
And that barn there has been pushed down with bulldozers. There's something that ain't.
About all you could see is the lay of the land and how, all the hills around it.
Well, we've got some old pictures and you can see all that country.
Oh boy, is that an old one. Who's that?
No, that's supposed to be Nelson. It was taken from a very small snapshot.
It's a little tiny thing, and I had it blown up like that. Now, that's the picture of the man that's with the twins.
Mm-hmm.
See, we don't have a picture of him, so we were trying to get one. Now, that one you gave, I had a copy.
Got the
That's the
Belvedere.
picture that we use to make that pigment from.
But this, I have some pictures of your mother in here.
Mine
I
are-
mean, your great grandmother. This is her, right there. This is Laura. This one is, this is Ethel, and that's Laura. This is a picture of the ranch. There were two houses. This is the house no longer there that my father and mother went to when they were first married. The other house is over here in the barn. Do you have any clear pictures? No.
Have you had a copy of this to see how?
No, I'd like a copy. It would probably be alright.
Copy of that picture.
Your apple.
I'd like a copy of it.
Okay.
Mark it on it, and when we get
I can't take it out right now.
I don't have any pictures. I've never even seen any pictures of her at that young age. They're all so old. See, this is what I don't want to put pictures and things like this because I'm so afraid.
we tried the whole thing.
It's gonna have to come off, I guess. That's my mother.
Great grandmother.
This is Ethel also. Ethel Laura.
I think I'd rather have a copy of that one than the other one. Or,
How about one of these?
yeah.
This is a good copy.
That's not bad. This is different. It's so talented. I've never seen pictures of her young. No, all the pictures I've seen have been she's been so old.
That might be a better one to reproduce than that one you took out.
It's a little unclear, but we'll try both of them and see.
See my blonde hair? That's where I was. Mine was blonde. I was very blonde. I like that.
You were a little down below when you were up there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? That's an interesting picture.
It's Grandma Hogan. It's apparently a double.
Boy, that's interesting though, still.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Grandma Hogan. That's my Uncle Harvey.
Where did you get these pictures?
They were in my mother's thing. They were all rolled up. That's why they won't stay in here. It's in a big gob.
The pictures go to the devil real quick if you want to take them.
Mm-hmm.
This is all us kids. Why don't you just look at these and see what you find interesting? We don't have too many. That's so old.
Do they would like a little glass of wine or Coke or
Oh,
something?
no thank you.
Coffee, tea,
No
whatever.
thank you.
We'll go get that. You've got a lot of catching up to do, girl.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone up there today.
Neither did I.
find any others of
I
her?
was going to ask you, you know, who certain pictures were. You know, you have so many things that I would love to have Xerox copies of. Do you have a place around here that we could go up to while we're here? Or would
Have
that
a copy, you mean?
just Xerox, you know, some of these, you know, just certain things, you know.
You don't
like-
mean pictures?
No, like articles and stuff.
Oh, well, you've only seen a part of them so far.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Wait till you get into
Don't
it.
make too many selections until you've gone through it.
This is a corner of the old barn, and this is looking up the cornfield. I mean the hayfield. This was taken there in front of the old house. This is all part of the ranch land. And this over here too. That's the barn right there.
Who's this?
Well, this is my brother Harvey, and this is me. These others are just neighborhood kids. That's when we lived down a log town. And this is taken up at the ranch. That's me.
Who's that?
That's Laura and me.
Who was Baby Butler?
He was my mother's baby, born about 2 to 3 before I was, but he died when he was just an infant. This is Grandma Hogan right there. She's your ancestor too. A great, I don't know how far.
I don't think she's even beginning to get familiar with who the Hogans and Allens
No,
were.
That's
I
my
have
mother's
no.
side.
I've never even heard the name Al.
Well, that genealogy sheet I gave you goes into the Allens. The Allens and Hogans. See, I started it down from your great-grandmother. And my mother, our mother, and her father. I don't seem to have a thing on him. And my grandparents. And then these are farther back. But Samuel stops right there because all we've ever got with him is that he was born in New York
Have
State.
you gone to any of the genealogy libraries?
Nope. But I've also got a lot of information that came from the people in back in Utah, and they haven't found out.
Yeah, the Salt Lake, that one is so much better than any of the ones out here from what I hear.
I imagine it is because they have the archives back there.
Now, what is this? A. Allen. What is, now, who is, okay, A. Allen.
Well, we're not sure. These were all in my mother's things too, like your great-grandmother left all these papers. But this apparently, this A. Allen, as far as we can make out, was no relative. But Harvey Hogan was my mother's brother. So this A. Allen was working for my Uncle Harvey.
Hmm.
That's the way they used to do when someone died. Write poems to them.
Now, who is Alice? Alice Myers.
This is a friend, I think.
Friend.
Friend of probably my Aunt Alice. Why don't you take Mike out and show him the town?
I want to eat.
You want to sleep, I can see.
It's a very historical country up there, Mike.
Looks like it.
This is where gold
Can I
the
read
California
these?
start. Where it all started.
growl, I think.
That's the mailman growl. You like to read letters?
Yeah.
Pat got all the letters, or they here, Mom?
Oh, but that one box there.
Boxes of them.
Yes, I think this is our great-grandfather Helen.
See, Chris, you haven't even started yet.
See, now, can I put some of this stuff aside and maybe we can go to a drugstore or something I can Xerox some of the papers off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wicked examiner, Jesse James Slayer slain. Bob Ford shot down with scarce a word of warning.
Huh.
Old paper.
That is the strongest letter you'll ever read.
Here's something that interests you, Mike. These kind of trains used to run down the highway out there.
Yeah.
That's sure a handsome man, and I almost think that was Einstein's father when he was the boy.
Ray says no.
Sure looks like it.
Huh.
Oh, cut out the goddamn parking. Beat you to death.
Why did she write this, I wonder?
It's written by a man to his wayward daughter.
Hey, that letter.
Oh, I said, it said, my dear daughters.
That letter will curl your hair.
What's that?
She stepped over the traces somehow or other. He was telling her in no uncertain terms.
Oh, that's nice. Is that a Bible?
No, it's a
Looks
an
like a
album.
Bible.
I have some old Bibles.
Look at him.
No, I have no.
Real handsome man.
Do you know who he was writing to?
Near as we can make out, it was to
Alice.
My great Aunt Ruth, my Grandma Hogan's sister.
Hmm.
Well, he lays right on her, doesn't he?
This is really interesting.
Oh, that's a very special thing.
This is.
And she evidently thumbed her nose at him because she knows she ever went home. But he know how to lay it on with a pen. Look at those fine looking men, though.
You want to read this? sausages.
Good for chocolate.
What are these?
Oh, it's a lot of our old relatives.
Oh gosh.
See, I told you, you haven't begun yet. You just start.
Just can't make out who they all are.
Nobody put names on them. Wednesday, March the
For I
19th.
shall be master in my house, of my family, and of my own family, and manage it in my own way. My goodness. That's really...
Will you go to breakfast with me on the 19th, Anna?
Prayer breakfast, is that what it says?
Yeah. Captain Rengelsdorf is the chairman. Huh?
Maybe.
Maybe. That doesn't give me any information. Wow.
Different wives. One child by the first, 12 children by the middle wife, and these 6 sons are part of that middle family. Then he came to California and married Helena someplace, whether it was California or Utah, and had 4 more children. And my father, Nelson, was one of the third family. Confusing, doesn't it?
The story is that there was a big Larson family here in this county. They were Mormons. And Ina's grandfather left Salt Lake City in fear of their life. They left it at night.
Okay, say this again, I'm sorry.
Well, the Larson family that's been here so long, they're Mormons in this county. And Ina's grandfather, they were involved in the construction of the Mormon tabernacle. And it was over wages or something, the story goes. But anyway, the Mormon Brigham Young, when you had a falling out with him, if you were close to him, well, the avenging angels generally, there was a guy named Lee and another man, and they would execute you if you didn't watch. So, Ina's grandfather and the Larson family left in the dead of night. Came out here. And this is why I always felt that her grandfather settled up on the river there, and when the big gold rush was on, and all of these Mormon battalions were coming through here, that he laid low. He didn't stick out. Though he was having a letter-writing campaign with Brigham Young and President Polk and President Lincoln.
Do you still have that letter you're telling me about? Where is that? Because I
It's in
didn't
here
see that.
somewhere.
I'm really interested in that one.
But that's why I will always say that Samuel Butler was not a Mormon, because he did leave back there. He left work on the tabernacle, supposedly in the dead of night, and came out here. And this letter to Brigham Young certainly proves that he has no respect whatsoever for Brigham Young or
He
the
might have
religion.
still been baptized into the church when he was a young boy.
Afterward. I have some baptismal records in there, too. You're going to go home so completely confused.
Rich, you're just not going to be able to soak this all up in one day. You're just going to have to come up here and stay overnight and work it all out. After you soak up some of it, then you get ready to take on some more of it.
Well, she can take copies of what she wants now. That'll help straighten it out pretty well.
Yeah, my mother-in-law offered, she said, if you have any names that you're confused about, she, you know, because she goes up to the genealogy library in Salt Lake City, she said, just tell me and I'll check it out for you. Because she's very good. I mean, she knows everything, how to do it. She's been doing it for years. She's
they live
so
back there.
good. Yeah.
But Chris, what I want you to be sure and do is determine if that is a picture of Christian Butler.
Well, I'll get a copy from the slide. I have two. Hogan, that's who it is. Cora Hogan. One of them is Hogan, Clara Hogan.
That was my grandmother.
Because it was a heavy-set woman with dark hair. You know, I got the, if I remember right. Do you remember that picture?
But the Christian Butler, that is the picture we're looking for. We have got one.
No, it's not. I just remembered who it was. It's Hogan. What's this?
Well, that's a copy of the letter that he wrote to Brigham Young, isn't it? This is the marriage license of the middle.
Is
Why?
that all you have, are copies?
I'm lucky to have those.
Yeah,
Believe me.
really?
This is a copy of the letter, yeah.
So hard to read these.
See, I never really got interested in this until about 10 years ago. And so many of the people from Utah have been out here trying to glean information on Samuel, so we just exchange what we have.
Do you know the people from Utah are Mormons that are coming out?
You mean of the Butlers?
Or the people who come out, you said, yeah, who are looking for information on Samuel. Do you know if they're Mormons?
Not all of them.
Do you know if the ones who are active?
This letter you just read, he was. He's dead. He sent all of his children on the missions, or what you call them. I have a picture of him in here someplace. I think it's in here. So his children would certainly be involved in it. Yeah, this is a picture of Virgil Butler, the one who wrote that letter, and his family. He's one that came out here.
I can't read this.
It's awfully hard to read.
Make copies and read when I get home.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
I could probably spend a week here at the rate it's going.
Well, you can't really read it and retain any of it unless you get off by yourself and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a typewritten copy of that letter, but they couldn't make out all the words either.
Oh, is that what that is?
They got this back in Salt Lake.
Your mother loved that. That sure just got so neat. A letter talking about Brigham Young. Isn't that neat? This stuff probably, you know, to a point in a different aspect means a lot to me too. How come you have this?
Well, Dennis Butler
Oh, I didn't know.
is another one of the Butlers that located me and came up here one day with his family and left me some things, and I sent him some things. This is I typed this up myself from the records that I have. What did Lori say?
Contractor can't get away till tomorrow night at 7. They'll be here tomorrow night. Wine on it?
No, not right now.
I just see that.
Well, Mike, it looks like if the gasoline prices go up much higher, you're going to have to get rid of your car and get a motorcycle.
Right. Outrageous for gas for that thing. I can't believe it.
Terrible.
Oh,
I had
I'd
a
love to go to that.
little Toyota four-wheel drive.
It's held at that date, and there's
I
no
had a
rain.
It's usually in July.
July would be
8, 9
good.
miles an hour.
But June
How would I
22nd
feel
is
on that?
Michael's birthday. His parents are
It was
coming
an old one,
down.
1965.
My
They're in
mother
such great
loves
demand, those
that.
pickups.
I know that should be. She would
Some
go
guy
there.
bought it.
bad. Well, maybe next year.
$3,500 for it, and I went down and bought a little car.
Right.
I've got a brand new car to drive, but I bought a little one, so that, heck, I can drive it all day now without sweating. I went and filled it up the other day, and they put in 4 gallons, you know.
That thing out expensive for gas. Fill it up costs $22.
Oh, isn't that kill you? Well, you got to learn to drive, go along about 50 miles an hour.
Come out here, I think over 60 on the way. Out on the highway, I get about 15 miles a gallon, but around town, I get about 10.
Blow your tires up real hard. Put an extra air.
They already are extra air. We're getting kind of warm as it is.
Yeah, I was given those names to write to for information and never have. That really has nothing to do with the genealogy. It's just referring to the old highway up here.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a picture. Who's S. Wayne Butler?
How old are you now, Mike?
He's
19.
a descendant of one of those 6 boys, 6 men.
I put in 30 years on the highway
He
patrol.
came
You
out.
ought to try it.
But he only spent about an hour here.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, they've done no research. Where'd you get this from?
Some of them that came out here, I don't really remember now. I think it's the one from Gooding, Idaho.
Oh, names. See, the records have been submitted, so your mother can get some information there. I'd like to write to her. She's really done her work. She's really done good. Lehi, Nephi, Alma. Boy, you can tell they were Mormons.
But I don't think they were Mormons.
Oh, those are names from the Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
And-
but I wonder why they named him that because the middle wife was the mother of all those boys, and she was a Quaker. Unless they used
Well,
maybe
see,
the same thing.
here it says, here it says temple ordinance data. So, baptized. Yeah, because see, they were baptized.
But they were already named that. They already had the Mormon names before they were baptized.
Oh, yeah, but see, they are Mormons because they're baptized in the church. See, these are Mormon sheets. We get these from our genealogy libraries.
Oh, he had hip replacement. Drop you. Oh, drop you. You know I won't drop you. Oh, for goodness sake.
information you have, boy, it's really nice. It's really,
I don't know what to do with it.
well, I don't know how familiar you are. Since our church is so into genealogy, I mean, they're very active in genealogy. That's what got me into it, is because the church encourages people to research their genealogy. They have, like here, these family sheets. They have these that you can buy. You don't have to buy them with temple work on information on them. You just buy them, and they have beautiful books. They're like $15, $16 that you can put all the stuff into, and these sheets are so helpful. Like, that's what I've started online, but those are just, and then I'll get the nice ones and I'll put them in the book of remembrance. But that's really what you should do, because you have such, the information you have is so nice.
It isn't all accurate, believe me.
No, but
I catch a lot of errors.
yeah, but even what you have is really good. There's so many, it could be so nicely organized, because it's so good. Gosh, it's really,
I think